it. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. Okay, but we gonna talk about this DDG and Halle situation part 2. Okay, but before that, hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did, y'all. Now remind y'all, you know, your girl is settled down. Like, I don't be outside. Okay, I just be in the house taking care of my little ones and being with my mans. But one of my high school friends wanted to go bowling, so we went bowling, and then my other friend wanted to go out, so your girl was outside this weekend and I had a good time. I will show y'all little clips, but you know I don't want to get copyrighted. But you can follow me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is Zodiac Zena. Okay, also my personal channel, I just posted remote jobs that are hiring. So if you're looking for remote work, you know, it's looking for remote work, feel free to follow me. I post around usually 13 per week. And then I have story time, vlogs, life after divorce, all of that fun personal stuff, my engagement story, how I manifested my person, all of that is on my personal channel. So I'll link my personal channel in the comments below. Okay, now today's video, part two. Okay, we are going to be talking about this again. And I wasn't even going to, y'all. Like, I was on TikTok and I was just actually like looking, about to put together this whole other compilation, like, which I'm going to be posting this week. But I kept running across the DDG content again, y'all. When I tell you it's almost like a 50-50 split between like people believing him over believing her, which is wild to me. So we gonna talk about it. First, I want y'all to listen to his, what I want to call kind of delulu in a way, fans that's taking up for him. Y'all gonna see that. Then y'all gonna see the people who are on the other side who are believing Halle, and then we gonna have the conversation and talk about it because I'm sick of it. Okay, so without further ado, go ahead and watch the content creators, and then I will be back.
Nah, he done beat them. Come on, bro. Like, at some point, when it gets to a point, bro, you try to make it seem like this man was a bad person for bringing him on stream, and that backfired on you. And since you can't paint that narrative that that man is a bad father, and you know that the internet knows that he's a good dad, so you can't say that he's a bad father. He just don't come see your son. So now you get a restraining order placed on him, and that shit can be placed on you for many different reasons, and it's not not only abuse. So y'all need to stop saying that. People, I'm sick of that. I know somebody that put a restraining order on a person in Texas for saying that she felt like her life was threatened. She just didn't like the nigga. I'm gonna keep it G real with y'all, bro. This whole little situation, I needed to wrap up real quick because my boy been good. Like, he been chilling. Like, I understand, like, she don't rock with him, cool, but placing that on him is diabolical. Like, if you see DDG on his stream, he was like, bro, how? Like, what do you mean? That's somebody that's confused at the whole situation. DDG has had a clean image this entire time. Mind you, he's been around so many women and nobody else has said anything. And before y'all get on here talking about some, oh, Ruby Rose already said that was cap. No, he did not. He did not put hands on Ruby Rose. He hasn't put hands on any other woman that he's ever been with. And now all of a sudden he's putting hands on bitches. Like, he's Chris Brown now, all right? Like, that's crazy. That's nuts. I just don't get it, bro. Just wrap this up expeditioous, bro. My boy been cooking. Like, he's been cooking this year. Like, DDG has been cooking.
DDG didn't hit that lady. That lady lying on him. She lied.
What's a TikTok? So let me know in the comments. How do y'all feel about the Halle and DDG situation? Me personally, I feel like Halle gotta be lying. She gotta be lying because it's giving she seems like a bitter baby mama. Because DDG done been in the game for the past 10 years, nearly 10 years. And since I was watching him, I have never heard or seen him or any accusations that he's ever beat on women. Like, yeah, I know DDG ain't, but he has a mother and a sister that he don't play about. I don't think that he will ever put his hands on a woman. And like, from what I heard, people have been saying like Halle has been putting her hands on DDG. Whether y'all was putting hands on each other, I really don't give a fuck. But why, if y'all both putting hands on each other, why would Halle go put a restraining order on DDG? Like, let's be for real. Put 2 and 2 together. Like, DDG is a hoe, but he takes care and provides for his whole entire family, putting everybody on. And I honestly feel like Halle just doesn't want her son on the internet. But you be posting him all this types of stuff. So there gotta be a bigger issue behind all of this. Because if y'all are a real OG fan of DDG, you know that when Woo Wop was born, everybody was posting Woo Wop. Now that he's older, he has a decision if he wants to be in the camera or not. But DDG literally put Woo Wop on. And he just want to make sure that his son is straight. And DDG wants to be in his son's life. So it's just given Halle wants to be a bitter baby mama. Because it's a lot of children out here who don't even have their fathers in their life. But DDG wants to be in his son's life. And you don't want him to be in his son's life. Then why even have a baby by him? Like, DDG clearly didn't want to settle down and have a family, but he did want a kid. That's what it's giving. Like, he just wanted a kid. Like, and I don't know about y'all, but in my opinion, I honestly think that Halle ain't even all that in a bag of chips. Like, DDG could have had a baby by somebody else if Halle was going to be this bitter. Like, Halle ain't even all that. She ain't. And that's just my opinion. That's how I feel. Halle ain't all that. She's not. She's not. She's not. The only reason she's big is because of The Little Mermaid. Like, let's be for real. Like, yeah, she's been in the industry for years, but you're not all that in a bag of chips. Like, let's be for real. You're not attractive. You're not. You're cute in your own way. Like, Halle's whole persona is goody two-shoes. And we know damn well he was not no goody two-shoes. I'm pretty sure you have your flaws. We just don't know about it yet. And she over here talking about how she got the video. Halle, go ahead and leak them videos so we could actually see that DDG was putting his hands on you. You got the videos. Go ahead and leak them then, since you got the videos so bad, because I want to see. I want to see. Like, there's no way. Shorty thought she was going to get wifed and didn't. Like, if DDG's career ends up flopping after these accusations, they need to just go ahead and Chloe Bailey, Halle, whatever her name is, Halle Bailey's career needs to be flopped too. I don't even know Halle like that. But before I even knew who Halle was, I knew who DDG was. I was watching DDG since Pontiac. Like, be for real.
Y'all know what? Man, these people are funny. Oh my God. I never seen so much blind loyalty and utter stupidity in my life. Oh my God. And that's not to say it didn't exist before all this thing when I went down with DDG and Halle. But my God, today these people stupid as hell. I'm seeing these people get out here, these guys and these girls. Oh my God, DDG, I'm praying for you. I know that your life is being threatened, Rock Nation. You know, they're sending these bottles of liquor to your friends and they're going to get you and they're threatening you. And this is all a conspiracy and Illuminati and everything is happening. And Halle is a part of it and she's a witch and she's one of the witches of West Local. What the is wrong with y'all? Are y'all serious? Like, for real? Like, y'all really think Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rock Nation gives a damn about you streamers? About y'all famous, most important people in the world, y'all kings, y'all, like, you really think they care about streamers? Come the hell on. Like, if they took that platform down, all them folks would be broke. Them people don't care. That's the last thing on their mind, worrying about DDG, worrying about whatever his other little friends who's supposed to be getting bottles. Are y'all crazy? What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all run with narratives and sound so dumb? I don't even think y'all know how y'all sound. Halle, girl, listen, baby, we all made stupid decisions growing up. Okay, this is a lesson, girl. Get out, stay out. I don't give a damn what he do, don't ever go back to that, girl. Because I know you sit back like, damn it, I should have listened. Because this has to be the worst decision you ever made, girl. But you got you a beautiful baby, but you stuck with that fool and all his dumb fans for the rest of your life. But for them to be on this internet talking about Rock Nation after DDG, Rock Nation don't give a shit him. And trust me, if Rock Nation, Jay-Z, and all the Illuminati wanted to do something to DDG, I promise you, they're not gonna send liquor bottles and threats by notes.
My issue with the DDG and Halle situation is, why is it so hard to just believe the victim first? Like, why are men jumping so quickly to defend, even if it's, let's just say it's a lie? Why is your first thing to say, she's lying? What the fuck is wrong with you? Mind you, none of us know what the hell really happened. However, why would this woman ruin her reputation to lie? She has too much going for her. And the girls already told Halle in the beginning, he is not a man you need to be associated with. You're too good for him. Let's start there. Secondly, she is too big for this man. Why would she ruin her career, her image, to be associated with a man putting his hands on her, bruh? Most women are not going to be sitting up here boasting, oh, I'm so excited to tell the world that he did this. I'm so excited to show the world the abuse that I went through. Any woman who really been in an abusive situation know you feel a sense of shame to have gone through that. It feels shameful to be a victim. Nothing feels amazing about that. No woman, most women, are not going to sit up here and say, oh, I just don't like him, so I'm going to lie and say he beat my...
DDG fans are like, Halle Bailey got physical too. Nobody's perfect. Did DDG go to court? Now you mean to tell me a man who, whenever he doesn't get his kids, goes online and talks about it. When his albums don't sell, he goes online and talks about that. But he gets into altercations where he is abused by Halle and he doesn't go online and talk about that. Then we got Halle who doesn't say anything ever at all. Somehow, someway, we're supposed to believe that Halle Bailey is such an awful person that she was beating the crap out of DDG. So much so that she decided to get ahead of it first to file the court documents and get full custody of Halo just to beat DDG to the punch. A lot of y'all operate on that petty level, so therefore you think other people will operate on that petty level. Halle left that man and never went back. And you and I can clearly see that DDG has been hurt about this since it happened. But stop sending me death threats. Stop coming for my sexuality, because yes, I'm gay as hell. I'm also a feminist. Also advocate for mental health. When I share my opinions and my thoughts and my facts on my platform, on my TikTok, it's not to change your mind. It's not to insinuate that I'm right and you're wrong. It's me saying, this is what I think. Here's my facts. Can you listen? If you don't want to listen, go. Use a block button. I'm not offended. I promise.
She didn't want that man around that baby for no reason. What y'all haters gotta say now? It don't matter, because y'all gonna come up with every excuse in the book. Y'all are going to swirl it out. Either she's lying, even though she literally has proof. She showed the bruise on her arm when he grabbed her. Mind you, while she was buckling Halo into a car. She also showed a picture of her chipped tooth where he allegedly grabbed her by her hair and slammed her head into the steering wheel. But she has all that proof, and the restraining order was granted by the judge. It was granted. But y'all gonna either say she lying or she started it. And that is sad. I personally stand with Halle. Mind you, she said the abuse started in January after they broke up. They broke up in October. I'm telling you, that man was upset that Halle left. I'm telling y'all that's what it was. He was upset. Oh, and it was because she went over there to discuss a visitation schedule for Halo. The way these black women in Hollywood are not protected, let alone not in Hollywood, just in general, is crazy and it's sad. But again, I want to let it be known that I fucking stand. DDG been a loser and he gives abuse vibes to me personally. This is just look, he just,
Okay, this next clip, I want y'all to pay attention to like his behaviors, okay? It's showing, like, when Halle had that screenshot of her text messages talking about, like, you know, stop harassing me, etc. Pay attention to this clip and just pay attention to his weird stalker-like kind of behaviors.
What?
You just gonna come and sit down? How'd you know I was here?
I just went on your Snapchat and I see
You went on my Snap and you found out I was here, and so you came.
Why not?
That's just a little creepy.
How is it creepy? I just wanted to link up with you.
So you don't text me?
What am I gonna text you for?
So you just pop up on people?
I'm just saying, I made sure you by yourself. I was looking at you through there.
You were looking at me through where? So you just be spying on people. Now what if I was with somebody?
Why you on camera making me look like a little weirdo?
You just popped up on me while I'm having lunch. That's not weird. Interesting how you feel entitled to just pop up on people.
I'm just saying, I just want to see. I don't do this for everybody. That's what you understand. You know what I'm saying?
So I should be excited right now? I want to know. Am I tripping right now or am I tripping? Because he just popped up on the kid. We're going to have a serious off-camera talk because there's boundaries and there's limit.
Okay, so if you won't tell us who it was with, do you have any crazy X stories?
X stories? You probably had to guide me through a question like that. Maybe give me a little bit.
Was there any time maybe, I don't know, you broke up with an ex and she went crazy, or she did something to you, you did something to her? Vandalized something?
Yeah, vandalism.
What'd she vandalize? Her or you?
I vandalized a few things before.
Want me to move this?
Might have broke a phone or something. Broke a little TV or something like that.
Keep going, I feel like... Look at this, stop there! First it was the phone, then it was the TV. Where does it go after that?
I think that's it. That's the furthest. Anything after that is foul on the play,
Okay, y'all, so now that y'all seen kind of what's going on, like Team DDG, Team Haley, let's have a conversation. Now, if you have not saw part 1, you might want to watch that first. It's not like it's going to be that much different, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to go in depth of certain things that I went in depth about on that video. So if you want to watch that, it's just the video I posted right before this one, okay? And then again, just like I said in the last video, disclosures, this case is still going on. They have another court date. I think it's either June 9th or June 10th. So we're not going to speak on too much in regards to the case because new things can be submitted, things can change around that time, etc. We are solely going based off of facts that have already been presented currently. Okay. Now, I feel like it's very dangerous, the mindset that his enablers have and his fans have. It's so dangerous because these are the type of men who feel like they can get away with unaliving people. And I'm not saying, before y'all run and go to this, I'm not saying that he's an unaliver. I'm just saying these are the type of people who would unalive somebody because they know they have all these people standing behind them and backing them up to the point they get so fixed on this I'm God interior mindset of they can do no wrong, they're above the law, etc. Example, Diddy. Okay, now we know them two totally different situations. He's way beyond what we're talking about, but I'm just saying people feel like that because they have people that support them so heavily and enable them so heavily. They will do worse things because they're well, got away with this, let me try the next one. Got away with that, let me try the next one. So y'all are dangerous when y'all have this mindset of this. Okay. This is also the reason that victims do not come out. So give yourself a round of applause. Okay. Round of applause, because this is the reason why victims do not come out, because they be feeling like people aren't going to believe them. And what do? Not believe them. Just like one of the girls said, what is it going to take for us to believe the victims first? I understand and I get it's a lot. It be a lot of different things going on with the media, especially celebrities where people do lie, etc. But let's not compare this situation, because I've seen people comparing this situation to other legal situations. This is a completely different situation than what y'all are comparing other situations to. Okay, this is different. Let's just keep this in the own loop of Halle and DDG, not Tory and Megan, or not P. Diddy and his stuff, or not Anybody else? This is solely Halle and DDG. Nothing more, nothing less. This is their situation. Stop comparing them to other celebrities because they got their own situations going on, okay? But this is the reason why they do not tell their stories, okay? Because you'll have people who get abused by like people of power, like politicians and judges and police officers, and because they are these men of like power and stature, like people will not believe anybody else. Like they see no wrong in that person. Like, oh, well, this person, like he works in the law. There's no way he put his hands on me. You know how many people work for the government but be putting their hands on people? I was in the military, and I will tell you, it is a lot of people who do that, and it just be behind closed doors. People don't talk about it, but it's a lot of people who do that. So people just don't like to believe the victims. They automatically jump to not believing the victims, even when there is evidence there. It'd be different if there was no evidence or both people submitted evidence, but there's only one piece of evidence and it came from her. Okay. And that's honestly what does not make sense to me. Okay. It makes zero sense. Now, if DDG, if he sent in his receipts and then she had her receipts, then we can have the conversation of like, okay, let's go by document and see who's telling the truth, who's lying, etc. He ain't uploaded anything. He has not submitted anything, okay? So with that being said, we don't have any other proof besides what was submitted by Halle to the court in which the judge approved. So it's like y'all really don't even have a reason besides the fact of like, oh, I've been watching this man for years and da-da-da-da, which ain't even a valid reason, but y'all don't have any type of logical standpoints on why you're believing him. You just believed him just to believe him. You know what I mean? And then I heard, people say, oh, Halle has y'all fooled with this perfect image. Da-da-da-da. One of the first things I said in my last video before I started my commentary, I said, I don't believe Halle nor DDG is perfect. I don't believe none of them are perfect. You got to remember when you were younger, they still kind of younger. I don't feel like people grow up until they're like 30. I feel like women close to 30 is when they have the right mindset for relationships, and men closer to 40. Okay, mid 30s latest. And I feel like they both are young. And if you ever look up when does your brain fully develop, it doesn't develop fully until you're in your 20s. And then they said that they're still like retuning, rewiring, like final touches when you're 30. So I'm not surprised that it's toxic. Anybody who is like younger and have toxic relationships, I've been in those. I'm not surprised at all because you're still growing, you're still learning. And I feel like this is a learning experience for either one of them. Like him, listen, maybe I need to get help. Maybe I need to go see somebody, etc. Even if he is innocent in this, it is more of an example of like, since I have a kid involved here, I need to stop just wanting to create babies, Cam Newton, cough, cough, and actually have a family, okay? Instead of like, just let me create a baby here, and let me create a baby there, and let me create a baby here. Like, we are so okay with broken homes, and that's a whole nother conversation. I'll be speaking about that on this channel as well. But I'm just saying, like, it's a learning experience for him, and it's a learning experience of her. Of like, listen, if people try to warn you ahead of time of this person, pay attention to and even if you don't want to listen to nobody else, pay attention to their relationship history. Has only had failed relationships before you. You know what I mean? They all sound like they were toxic from what I'm hearing. So you got to pay attention to all of that. Okay. Oh, so there's a compilation on TikTok, and I'm looking down, y'all, because y'all know I got my notes. I don't want to be forgetting nothing. There's a TikTok compilation. This is what people keep trying to bring up. Like, oh, have y'all not seen the videos literally of Halle saying that she's toxic? You guys are referring to a video compilation. First of all, Halle's hair was right here. That lets you know how old these videos were. And just remember what I just said about brain development as well, right? Halle's hair was right here. This is when she was a little girl before she even got discovered, from my understanding. She was super, super young. She had videos with her and Chloe where they're answering certain questions from fans and stuff. Like, I think they had YouTube. They was answering certain questions, and Halle was like, I'm not that innocent, And she's like, I'm a fire sign, like I'm an Aries, So like basically saying how she has impulsive ways and like, just showing her true self. Now, me being the Zodiac queen myself, okay? Like, Zodiac Xena, that's my TikTok. Like, that's where I gotta end up getting a lot of followers on TikTok. I used to do Zodiac humor. So I know a lot about astrology. I love astrology. And I would tell y'all, because a lot of people are using her Zodiac sign for an excuse. And I will tell y'all, I know Aries very well and very personally for years. And I will tell you, yes, they are very a lot of them are very impulsive. Now, it does depend on other signs in their chart. That's just where the sun was pointed, the direction of the sun when you were born. You have the moon, you have other planets that, influence other behaviors within yourself. Okay, so even though she's an Aries sun, she could have, her moon sign could be something more calm. Her Mercury could be something calm. Like, it's just other aspects besides just a sun sign. Okay, that's just your general personality traits. It's not your Venus, which is your love sign. It's not your moon sign, which is your deeper inner emotions, etc. Okay, so it's a lot to zodiac signs. But yes, she can absolutely have some impulsive ways. Okay, but I will tell you, an Aries, a lot of Aries isn't just unprovoked. Like, Aries, their problem is they get impulsive quick, but they're not going to do it for no reason. So if they are impulsive, it's because you did something. You did something to them, so they like react usually. Otherwise, they just be minding their business. They have fun. They turn up. Like, I love partying with Aries. Like, they really do have a good time. But can they get triggered really fast? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I can't just go based off of a zodiac sign. And if we are going based off of a zodiac sign, ain't DDG a Libra? Yeah, he a Libra. He a Libra. Now, let me give you an example of a Libra. NBA Youngboy, Lil Wayne, Jeezy. Which one of them do y'all know have a long-term committed healthy relationship? I will wait. Okay, and those are just 3 examples. Okay, Libra men, if we're gonna go on zodiacs, Libra men, they lie, they cheat. A lot of them. I ain't gonna say every single one, okay, but the ones who have not grown and healed yet, they be lying, they be cheating. Listen, okay, and we already know because he was caught texting Ruby Rose when he was with her. But like I said, that's a whole nother story. So we need to stop with the whole zodiac sign thing. Yes, she has ways to where she can be impulsive, absolutely, but that does not negate the fact that she has proof that this man was abusive towards her. Okay, but again, I don't believe either one of them is perfect. I believe they both have growing opportunities. Okay, then dude talking about like Ruby Rose said that, that was a lie. And here's the thing. I did my research on that, okay? And I have never seen her specifically say like, oh, him being abusive is a lie, or I lied about him being abusive. What she said was fake news, because she did not know that her text messages with DDG was going to get leaked, okay? And apparently it got leaked somehow. And then when they was getting a lot of backlash, just all this kind of stuff. He was getting a lot of backlash and all that kind of stuff. And then Ruby posted and said fake news, or y'all don't always believe fake news, or something like that. Okay. So I didn't, unless I'm mistaken or missing something, but I didn't hear her specifically say that him abusing me is a lie. She just said fake news to the whole situation. Okay, stop speaking on domestic violence if you do not know nothing about domestic violence. Okay, there is a whole cycle here. And in relation to Ruby Rose, I believe she has what people call in the domestic violence cycle, the Stockholm syndrome. I don't know if y'all ever watched like some of those stories where people got kidnapped and they were kidnapped for a long time, or maybe even trafficked, etc., and then they fall in love like kind of with their abuser, or like they don't want to report their abuser. There was this one little girl who ended up getting trafficked, and this is a true story. She didn't want to turn in her abuser. Like she didn't want to turn in somebody who was like a PDO file. She didn't want to turn him in. They took her at a really, really young age. Okay. So, there is a such thing as Stockholm syndrome. And I actually believe that is what Ruby has. Okay. So even with the whole situation of like, oh, well, Ruby said it's a lie. Well, first of all, she didn't specifically say that is a lie. She just said fake news. And even if she did say it was a lie, I feel like she has Stockholm syndrome. A lot of victims of domestic violence have that. So they're not going to just up and tell on their abuser. Like, it's a real syndrome. This really does happen. Okay. It takes the victim around 7 times to leave. Okay. A lot won't even ever say anything about ever being abused, but it takes around 7 times. Keep that in mind, for a victim to leave their abusers. Okay. Only 60, I think it's either 60 or 70. of domestic violence cases are reported to law enforcement. So a lot more people are getting abused behind closed doors, but they're not saying anything. Only that percentage is what even gets reported to law enforcement. Okay. And like I said before, keep in mind, Ruby did not know that those text messages were going to be leaked. So that tells me that she never even planned on telling on DDG. It's just that those messages got leaked, and then boom, he getting all this backlash for being an abuser. And what does she do? Tap right back into the Stockholm syndrome, to where she don't want people, like talking bad about him or anything like that. So she's quick to say like, oh, that's fake news or whatever. But I seen the screenshots, y'all. It has a check mark, a certified check mark next to the profile, to her profile. So like, and she's texting him, and she got pictures on there of the bruises, etc., texting him, telling him about him being violent. But again, a lot of victims fall into the Stockholm syndrome, to where they don't want their abuser to get in trouble. They feel sorry for their abuser, all this kind of stuff. So, like what I'm going to do is show y'all a clip from a lady speaking about what Stockholm syndrome is, so y'all can kind of understand this. And this is for knowledge purposes. So go ahead and watch that. I'll be right back.
People think Stockholm syndrome in relationships is something you can just shake off. Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you press charges? Why didn't you just walk away? But what they didn't understand is that you are chemically bonded to this person, chemically tied by the way they have manipulated you. They change how you see yourself, how you think, how you look. They wear you down until you believe you are worthless to everyone but them, convincing you that no one else would love you. Therefore, they isolate you, cutting you off from friends, family, controlling every part of your life, your social media, your job, until you are just a shell of a person. You end up so manipulated that you are in a constant state of fight or flight, barely recognizing yourself as someone with choices.
Okay, so now that y'all seen that, like I said, I just feel like Ruby, I honestly don't feel like that she was hacked ever. She might have got hacked, but I don't know. But I don't feel like it's a lie, though. I don't feel like the messages were lies. I feel like she wasn't expecting it to go public, and she also could not handle the backlash that he was getting. Because again, people fall in love with their abusers. They don't want nothing to happen to their abusers. There's so many women who report their abuser, but then they be like, they try to remove the charges. Look into it. Like I said, y'all should look into the documentaries, look into people talking about it specifically. There's a lot of stories on it, a lot of testimonies, etc. And people, they fall in love with their victim. I told y'all, I've been through domestic violence, and that's the same thing that happened with me, to where even after he put his hands on me, there was a case put in place. I felt bad. He would try to make me feel bad about the case being put in place. He's like, you told on me and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And I would have to tell him, like, you calling me like the feds or something like that. Like, I don't trust you, da-da-da. And I try to tell him, like, even if I didn't call the police on you, anybody could have called the police on you because you're breaking the law. So I wouldn't have had to do nothing. There's so many times that me and him in our relationship, even when we were younger, because I met him around 17, to where the police will be called and they will knock on our door. Okay, so again, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. It doesn't matter who calls the police, you're breaking the law. So again, this is a cycle, y'all. We fall in love with our abusers. I ain't gonna say we, because I ain't never doing that ever again in life, but I'm just saying, like, victims fall in love with their abusers, and then the abuser will start to manipulate them, and then you fall into this cycle of like, oh, well, I feel bad now, like I told on him, now he has to face charges, this is my father of my kids, etc. That's just pretty much how it goes. It's a whole cycle. That's why I was like, people just have to know the cycle before you talk on things, because yes, it's very common for a victim to tell on her abuser and then retract everything. Like, no, that never happened, to protect her abuser. It's a cycle of manipulation. It starts a long time ago. Okay, it been started. All right. Now, people are also saying that he was abusive with Kennedy. And her mom, who was a therapist, counseled them because of his anger issues. They even said it was a whole nother ex before her, but I don't know anything about that. Okay. I only know about the Ruby Rose situation, obviously Halle, but I don't know anything about the Kennedy. So if y'all have any like resources on that, y'all let me know, but that's just what I've heard. Okay. Now again, like I said, I do believe that DDG fits the profile of a narcissist. In the last video that we watched, we watched licensed psychologists break down the traits of a narcissist and how they're created. And a big part of being a narcissist is a smear campaign after y'all break up. Okay, that is part of their cycle, and I spoke a little bit about this in the last video. What happens when you deal with a narcissist is, first of all, they're obsessed with their image. So they have a lot of insecurities that they lack within themselves, and the moment that they're reminded of their failure, okay, which you've had multiple relationships, okay, and the moment that they're reminded of their failure, that triggers that insecurity in them, and they don't want anybody else to know about any insecurities they have because it reminds them of their failure. So they will try to beat you to the punch before you tell anybody, etc. He runs to the internet. Since he has a platform, he just runs to the internet. Okay. So he'll try to do a smear campaign. That's what they call it in the narcissist cycle, is a smear campaign, to where they'll badmouth you. Notice how many times he has badmouth Halle. Okay. So I'm going to let y'all also watch what a smear campaign is. Okay. It should sound familiar to what this man is doing. I'll be right back.
Narcissists lie about you because they're afraid of you telling the truth about them. And of course, if you're new here, I'm actually a diagnosed narcissist. The smear campaign from a narcissist is full of lies, half-truths, rumors, just made up stuff. They smear you, they lie about you because they are deathly afraid of you telling the truth about them, of you sharing your story, of you exposing them for who they really are and not who they pretend to be out in public. A lot of narcissistic people get a high off of lying about you. It's a victory, it's a win, especially when they can convince people that you are the abuser, that you are the liar, that you are the cheater, even though it's them, even though the whole time it's been them. I know the smear campaign sucks. Just think about the smear campaign like this. It's a fire. And sometimes the best way to fight a fire is to not breathe air into it, not go back and forth with them.
Okay, so now that y'all have seen that, I also seen a lot of comments referring to temporary protective orders. When I tell y'all on TikTok, it is so many people that is just loud and wrong when it comes to protective orders. Like, loud and wrong, y'all. They're like, you don't need any evidence, and I was able to get a protection order without submitting any evidence. Okay. Keep in mind, protective orders are state specific, okay? A lot of them are state specific. A lot of them follow the same processes, but not every single state follows the same exact process. If you go on Google, matter of fact, Google, you can go to the court directly, or you can go on Google, okay? They are in California. Let me get a little closer for y'all to hear this. They're in California. In California, you have to have evidence submitted before you get a temporary or a permanent protective order. And a lot of people, I've seen so many people in the comments thinking that just because it's a temporary protective order, that means all she did was sign a paper and got it automatically approved. Y'all are loud and wrong. Google is free. The internet is free to look up this information. That is not the case in California. Y'all are holding on to anything to not let this be true. Okay? That is absolutely incorrect in the state of California. Okay? In California, again, I looked up the process. I looked it up on the court site directly. Okay? In order to get either a temporary or permanent, matter of fact, I'm going to just tell you the process so you can understand it. Okay? To get a temporary protection order put in place, you have to file it with the court. You have to submit the proper documents. The proper evidence is what they actually label it. Evidence, okay? Then you submit it to the court. They have to be served, okay? Now, they can, after you get served, you will have a court date. And when you have a court date in the state of California for this situation, the judge will determine whether they are going to grant like a permanent protective order. And if they grant it, it's for 5 years. Okay. If they do not grant it, then they will have to work out something else, some type of mediation or whatever. But again, if they approve it, it will be a protection order for 5 years in California. So that is the cycle. So 100% absolutely, you have to submit evidence. You cannot get a temporary protective order in California without evidence. That is on their website. The only time that happens, like I said in my last video, is that if it's an emergency situation. If the police is called or something like that, they at your house with a weapon, something like that, then they're going to automatically grant you a temporary protective order. Okay. Otherwise, if you're doing it yourself, you do have to submit evidence. I need y'all to understand that. I don't know why y'all are so delusional in that. Like, yes, there is evidence that had to be approved by a judge for her to get a temporary protective order. The only difference from it being temporary versus permanent, for some reason, a lot of y'all just think that there's a big difference there, is that is the time difference. They do something temporary because it's an emergency. So they're like, this is a temporary thing. Like, let me go ahead and at least temporarily approve this until the actual court date where you have time to gather more evidence and the other person gather more evidence, etc. But they see it as an emergency situation, so they will grant something temporary until that court date. That's the only difference. Okay, the only difference. And then also, I looked up how can a protective order be denied in California. It says yes, California protective orders can be denied. A judge will review the petition and determine if the evidence is presented supports the issuance of the order. And if not, the order may be denied. Then it gives you kind of some list of things. They're like, if it is a lack of sufficient evidence, it can be denied. If it's insufficient details in the petition, it can be denied. Legal requirements not met, respondents' evidence not met. So heavily on the evidence, okay? So I know a lot of y'all are delusional when it comes to this situation. When it comes to DDG, you just can't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. Like, but please know, in California, the state that she filed this in, you do have to have evidence. Please stop thinking you don't. Their state is not your state, okay? This is from their site directly, their government site directly, okay? Now, again, even beyond that, right? Even beyond the evidence that's submitted, again, let's revisit the words that has came out of this old man's mouth, okay? Lyrics. Let's see here. Well, I said this on the last video. He said, hold on, sorry. I forgot that I have screenshots of those in my phone. Let me go here. All right. Evidence. I've been so insecure that I be thinking you really effing niggas you in movies with, but on the internet I just be cooling it, but in my head a nigga really losing it. Gotta be paying good because you keep doing it. I might just tweet something just to ruin it. I got a platform, I'm abusing it. Let me read that again for some of y'all slower ones, okay? I got a platform, I'm abusing it. It's a couple things about your job I want to know. When you shoot your movie, do these niggas turn you on? When you leave the set, do y'all still text each other on the phone? Just because they filming it, it don't mean it ain't wrong. Then he said, I think this was an interview or something. It says, no, this is a song. Sorry, this is the same song. The hardest thing he ever had to do was fall in love with a famous bee. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is in relation in regards to the evidence that was submitted, okay? He would text her, check her about other dudes, taking a picture of her bed, saying, I see what you be on. She said he's called her B so many times. And then here go the fans like, oh, he wouldn't do that. He don't talk like that. He just said it in his lyrics. He just called her B in his own lyrics. What are you talking about? He do call her B. He called her B in his own lyrics. He talked about being insecure about other dudes in his own lyrics. Lord, y'all, it really just be the delusion for me. It really do be the delusion for me. Okay. But keep in mind, like I said, besides the whole Halle situation, keep in mind, just look at the characteristics of this man. We just heard his lyrics, right? Now, who's the one who always runs to the internet when something's wrong? Halle or DDG? I'll wait. Okay. Because the only time that we have heard Halle coming online in regards to DDG is defending herself. Like, and that was like maybe once or twice. She don't just go online talking about this man for no reason. She don't regularly do that. That's what he do. There's plenty of clips that show it. Multiple times he's on here talking about her and their business, co-parenting, all of that. Multiple times he's talking about her. Okay? She don't do that. So that's why I let y'all watch the video of a smear campaign, because he's the one acting in the narcissistic cycle. Like, you try to hurry up and run to the internet. Remind y'all, we would have never known about this if it wasn't public. Like, he made sure the situation was public. He want people to intentionally bash her, and then now it's happening, and he's doing like a whole smear campaign. Okay. So another thing that I want people to keep in mind, see how quick he is to run to the internet with their problems. If she was abusing him, like some of his Delulu fans say that she is doing, like, which I ain't gonna say Delulu, like I said, because they have a whole nother court date. We don't know what else will be submitted, etc. So I ain't gonna call y'all Delulu on that part. But if he is abusing her, then why has he not ran to the internet and say, he run to the internet and say everything else? She's a bad mother. She won't let me see my son. And He runs to the internet with everything else. And you think with his clout chasing, but he would not run to the internet and say that she's putting her hands on him, etc. Man, he will be so quick to say that in the interview. He will be so quick to say that. Okay? But he never have. Now, all of a sudden, when this is going on, his friends and other streamers all just want to say that now, since this is going on. Okay? All right, let me make sure. Let me see what else, y'all. Okay, let me see what else I miss. And then, hold on. And have y'all noticed that, like, most of the people defending him are like really, really young? Like, baby, you ain't been through real life yet, okay? Like, the girl who says she got big because of the Little Mermaid, like, I know you young, girl, because her talent is what got her big. Her talent is what got her noticed by Beyonce before the Mermaid, okay? She didn't just come out of the woodworks and just do a mermaid movie, baby. Her voice, her talent is what got her noticed. That's why I'm like, they young. Y'all don't even know anything. Y'all young. Y'all ain't been through enough life. Y'all have not been through enough life, okay? And it's given like you just want to sleep with him. To the girl who was talking all that about Halle, like talking about her looks and stuff, that don't have nothing to do with this situation. But baby, if you want to sleep with him, just say that. Like, just go be a groupie like the other little groupies, and you might get a chance. You might get, chosen, okay? Because that's what it's given. That's what it's given. And she kept saying like, oh, you say you got the video, post the video. First of all, they have court in June, okay? You never know. She might have been told by her lawyer not to post the video. We don't have all those details. Like, we know what she submitted to the court and got granted by a judge, but video, etc. like that, they might be saving that for trial. Lawyers will tell you certain stuff, to do certain things, not to do certain things. So her lawyer probably told her, like, if you do have the footage, like, wait, let me see the footage, wait until court, okay? And then my thing is, keep that same energy for him, okay? Y'all keep saying post this video, etc. Where's his receipts? Oh, wait. And don't say like, oh, he got a protective order because he can't speak on her. He's still having everybody else speak on her. If he had receipts, you think they wouldn't have been leaked by now? So I don't want to hear that excuse. Where is his receipts? Where's his stuff? Because technically he going against the temporary protective order, which we gonna get into. Okay. But point blank period, like, let us who have actually been through domestic violence, like, and who are actually mature enough to see the situation for what it is based off of logic instead of our emotions, we need to be the ones speaking on it, okay? I'm not saying nobody can speak on it or have their opinion on it, but it's like none of these reasonings regarding DDG is based off of logic. It's literally all based off of like emotions, okay? When and a lot of other people is basing it off of evidence. If she just say he was abusive, then like there wouldn't be much for me to say, because it's like, okay, where's the evidence? Like, whatever, I don't need to say nothing. But he has no evidence, she does. You know what I mean? So he would have found some way to post, receipts if he could, trust me. Okay. But he actually is going against the temporary protective order. Now, there is this girl on YouTube, which I'm gonna post the link to her in the comments below. She goes through the court documents page by page, y'all. She's showing the protective order, all of that, like signature dates, all that. She's showing the protective order and breaking it down on her channel. I will link down in the comments below. But she was talking about how he actually is going against the protective order. Now, he's not supposed to have anybody also openly bashing her and stuff, and he clearly has had people speak on her in the situation and bashing her. So technically, when they go to court, she can really tell the judge that. Like, I hope she's keeping receipts of all. This is probably why she hasn't came forward, and maybe her sister hasn't came forward, etc. Because I think that they're being smart in the background and not speaking about it. Little do he know, he can get in trouble for what he's doing, because in that protective order, it says that him nor anybody else can speak on her, like bashing her, etc. online, and that's what he's doing, according to like what she said in the video. Okay. And then, you know, I broke this down in the first video. Listen, I need y'all to hear this again. Please hear this, okay? Y'all do not know this man personally, okay? You do not know this man personally. We don't know either one of them personally, but we have facts backing up what we're saying, okay? Y'all do not know this man personally, okay? I don't give a dang how long you've been watching him and all that. That has nothing to do with this situation, okay? Have y'all been with him intimately? I'll wait. Have y'all lived with him? I'll wait. Have y'all had a baby with him? Oh, I'll wait. Okay. Then you do not know him. And I need y'all to understand that. I literally said this in the last video. I said, you do not know somebody unless you intimately know somebody, okay? So I don't care what you see online. You do not know that man behind closed doors. Hear this clearly. An abuser is not going to look like an abuser. He's not. Y'all be acting like Satan, like an abuser looks like Satan himself. Well, I can't use him because he does a good cover up. Y'all be acting like it's a grizzly bear. Like, abusers don't look like that. I told y'all, they are Prince Charming. They will love bomb the crap out of you. When you first meet them, they got to get you where they want to get you. Like, baby, let me get your nails done. Let me get you a gift. Let's go on vacation. Let's do this. They get you right where they want you. Okay. So keep that in mind. Like, you can't tell an abuser. You can't tell them. You will walk past somebody down the street, at the store, at the schools, at church, and then it'll be an abuser right in front of you, and you would not know. You don't know them. They don't look how you think they look. Okay? That's what y'all need to keep in mind. They know that. They know what to do. They be having the best reputations. Like, they would have no idea. That's why they friends and coworkers, oh my God, he would never. You don't know that. You're not behind closed doors with them. They're going to show you a certain image on purpose. And then those who's talking about he's a good father and da-da-da-da. How do you know that? Did you have a baby with him? Are you co-parenting with that man? You do not know that. Just because he putting his baby on the stream from time to time do not mean that you know that he's a good father. You do not know that. You know who does know that? His co-parent. The only person who knows how he parents is his co-parent, not even his family. They can see certain things, but they don't know what goes on behind closed doors, okay? So stop trying to say that. Like, you're not going to know more than the own co-parent, okay? Because she's the one who has to talk with him regarding schedules, regarding pickups, etc., okay? But like I did previously mention, you know, in regards to this whole situation, men do need advocates, okay? If anyone ever lied about domestic violence, because I know that happens, they deserve to be locked up. So yes, if Halle is lying for some reason, or it comes out that she wasn't telling the truth, then yes, she deserves to be locked up. But we are solely going based off of the evidence here, okay? And facts here, okay? And the timing, people saying like she's lying, AI did those text messages, whatever. Listen, the timing don't even make sense for that. Like, you do know she's currently working on like a big filming project, right? So this is the least of what she should be doing for that. Like, she has a deal going on. So it's like, why would she want to put any type of negative attention on her at this moment when she's in the middle of that? That's a bad look. Like, she wouldn't know. She's doing this because she had to do this, okay? You know, we got to do better when it comes to like believing victims, especially when there's actual evidence and proof. The way y'all go so hard for him at the beginning of June, we better see some freaking evidence. I'll tell you that. The way y'all go, because we're going based off of evidence. The way y'all go so hard for this man, we better see some evidence of Halle lying. Okay, we better see some evidence of him showing that he's not an abuser. That's all I know. Because y'all going real hard when we going based off of facts and receipts, and y'all have nothing based on your soul, like what, idolization for this man. That's your evidence and your receipts. Is like, oh, I've watched him since, he first started streaming. That ain't got nothing to do with this man and his situation. So please get it together. Okay. That's all I have. I probably won't do this topic again unless we have some type of update. So like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all on the next one.